The chapter begins by showing a few moments of connection. The first is the deep bond between Wally West and Barry Allen. The instant Wally touched an unknown energy source, something ignited, a powerful connection with Barry. It was as if that contact had triggered Barry Allen's death. Overwhelmed by the shock, Wally fled the lab and abandoned Fort Fox, starting a relentless run. But even while running, he never truly felt alone. It was as if Barry's presence lingered beside him, an agonizing shadow following his every step. When Wally finally stopped, he had a vision. Barry Allen was really there beside him, in a state that looked somewhere between burned and ghostly, reaching out, desperate for help. The sight was disturbing, and the fear mixed with guilt kept pushing Wally to run even farther. In the present, Wally is still on the run after being chased by the Rogues Gallery, led by Captain Cold. He manages to shake off the superhumans pursuing him and finds temporary shelter in an abandoned farm. Inside the barn, he tries to rest. Meanwhile, the captain leading the hunt contacts the mission's commanding officer, Colonel Rudy West, Wally's own father, who orders that his son be brought back alive. As part of their strategy, they release Grod, a small genetically altered monkey, and with help from Thawne, a Fort Fox operator, they're able to see through the monkey's eyes and track his movements. Grod follows Wally's trail to the barn and finds him sleeping. But Grod seems to recognize Wally just as Wally instantly identifies him as the strange monkey he once saw in Barry's lab. Grod then reaches out a finger, and Wally, understanding the gesture, touches it. The act creates a mental bridge between the two, and now we witness a new series of connections, this time between Wally and Grod. At that moment, Grod begins to see fragments of Wally's life. The times he snuck out of Fort Fox, his fight with his father, the experiments Barry conducted, and the exact moment when the energy hit him, granting him superhuman speed. But the visions don't stop there. Grod also sees Wally's childhood memories, the time he spent with his mother, her illness, and her death. In return, Grod shares his own past, his early days in the jungle with his mother, the trauma of watching her be killed, his capture, and the experiments that turned him into the conscious being he is now. This exchange of memories creates a deep bond between them. So deep, in fact, that now connected, Wally and Grod are able to communicate telepathically. Grod reveals that he sees similarities between them and, because of that, decides to help him. However, the moment of peace is suddenly shattered by an attack. One of Digger Harkness's boomerang drones locates the barn and launches a massive strike that destroys it completely. Wally quickly understands what's happening. The rogues are closing in. As the tension rises, Wally begins to feel another anxiety attack coming on, and with it, the same mysterious energy returns. At the same time, something starts to form in the air. A figure resembling the spectral version of Barry Allen we saw earlier. The scene grows increasingly unsettling until Grod steps in, touching Wally's forehead to calm him down, causing the energy to dissipate. With the enemies approaching, Grod uses his mental powers against his former allies, making them feel intense pain. As he does, he declares his betrayal of the Rogues and his new alliance with Wally. Using his powers, Grod defeats Glider, the Captain, and Jesse. But for some reason, he cannot touch Digger Harkness, who transforms one of his boomerangs into wings and launches an aerial attack. This time, Wally doesn't run away. For the first time, he feels the need to face everything head-on. So he races toward Digger at a devastating speed and lands a punch so powerful it sends him flying and knocks him out instantly. With the enemies defeated, Grod suggests he flee, but Wally refuses to leave him behind. Resolute, he insists that they'll get out of there together, marking the beginning of a genuine friendship between Wally and Grod. Later, now safe, Wally reflects on everything he's lost: his home, his family, his old life. All of that is now behind him, He knows he has to embrace this new reality. So he returns to the cave, where he had earlier seen what looked like Barry Allen's body wearing that suit that resembled the Flash. With newfound clarity and purpose, Wally decides to make that suit his new symbol. For the first time since it all began, Wally feels a moment of peace. And in that moment of acceptance, he finally feels free to run again, this time wearing the Flash's suit.